Welcome back to Life Design Diaries, and today's episode is extra special because it is our Black Friday sale episode. Now, why are we running a Black Friday sale episode? Because everyone else is running a Black Friday sale and we didn't want to miss a boat.
No, we didn't. The amount of times I've heard someone say Black Friday, today alone has probably been 10. Like, everybody is so hooked into the bloody word Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but it's actually Black Friday week because the sales have been running for...
This episode is live on Thursday. It's not even Friday.
But everybody is so attuned to the word and it literally turns heads like, oh my God, I'm getting a great deal. I better give you my money. I hate money. Take it so that I can buy your crap.
I know. Some of those videos that we've seen over the last few years of people sprinting into shops.
Oh yeah, what is it? Crazy. Walmart in America. Yeah, people die. How many deaths have there been?
Absolute madness.
Yeah, so we wanted to bring you this episode because of two things. One, it is Black Friday week. And two, this week we moved back into our gorgeous apartment that we dearly loved and didn't really realise how much we missed in our 8 months of travel. And we unpacked all of our boxes and we have empty cupboards and empty drawers and storage units that used to be full to the brim.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like, we've talked on this podcast before about living minimally and the kind of benefits of decluttering your mind and things like that. And that's obviously all relevant, but it kind of hit home, didn't it? When we finally got here and we emptied everything that we own and it's just so much empty cupboards. Yeah. Everything is empty.
It's mad. We definitely didn't realise it when we just had a bag on our back or we were moving around places since we've been back in the UK. So yeah, unpacking everything and kind of being in the same place, so in the same shell, but feeling very different and actually experiencing it in a different way to before has been really interesting for us both, and really, really a bit of a breath of fresh air, I think. Would you agree?
Yeah,
it's been really nice to be back and not be cluttered and worrying about what to buy next and things like that, which has been really nice. Although we definitely need to buy a dining room table. Yeah,
we probably need one of those. Black Friday sale.
Yeah.
So we kind of had that realization, didn't we, of just literally how freeing it is. And I said we've spoken about it before, but what would we say then would be a good method or tip of even getting to a place where you can live minimally?
I definitely think starting with your wardrobe. So like, if you've not worn it in a couple of months, you need to sell it or give it to charity. And I think that there's some really good, when we were going traveling, I came across the word capsule wardrobe. I think I've spoke about it before, but you basically have like 10 key pieces in your wardrobe that you swap in and swap out with a few cool accessories and stuff, and that's all you need because that's probably all you wear anyway.
It's weird, isn't it, how when you have something you value it so much more, because it is hard to do that. Like getting rid of clothes was hard for me, because your wardrobe's pretty much full, and like selling them, you look at like old jumpers, t-shirts, and they probably fit that criteria that you've just said there. You haven't worn them for X number of months, but the decision to actually throw it is not easy. But when you actually don't have it, you don't miss it at all. No.
And I think that you also really look after the things that you do have. Like, I'm a bit slapdash at the best of times. Like, I'm forever dropping my phone or losing my wallet. I'm one of those people. But since being away, and I think two things, only having a few key items on my back has made me really appreciate those things. But also kind of being in those countries that we went to see where a lot of these products and stuff are made, it also makes you have a greater appreciation of how far things have come. You know, I always love when I sit down and have my dinner thinking about like the farmer that birthed the cow that grew it, that then it turned into, I don't know, the cow's probably not a good example, but like your cereals. So a farmer's had to grow the grain, and then someone's had to harvest it and bag it up, and then someone's popped it on the shelf. And I just love that. It's one of my favourite things to go, let's think back. It's almost like saying grace.
Taking a moment of appreciation.
Yeah. But having like a really, really true gratitude for like just the little things that you have.
It does help because it breaks you out of the material. Do you know what I really like? Like, there's a Netflix... I actually don't find the Netflix documentary that good, but there's a Netflix documentary called The Minimalists. So I probably recommend watching it if you're interested in this topic and trying to kind of break out of that cycle. What I really like about this whole topic, though, of like living minimally and breaking out of consumerism is just being almost... or feeling like you're breaking convention in that aspect.
Yeah.
You know, I hate the thought that Black Friday is this huge thing and I'm sort of like caught up in it. You know, like you're on the sort of the rat wheel almost. You know, you're there, you're a participant in this thing that we all moan about. It's almost like Christmas as well. Everyone's like, Christmas, God, it's in the supermarket so early. It's like such a cause of stress. Christmas, and yet, you know, I don't like the thought of being caught up in that and being one of those people that's kind of feeding it. So for me, this topic, it's really good to change this mindset, to kind of like break out of that. And I actually think it goes even deeper than that. And I think it's like ultimately it's like a disassociation from your worth being material things. Like in your status and all of that. It's quite nice to kind of live against that mold of, you know, what possessions people have being kind of rated as who they are, or even what job title they have. Well, I guess the experience that we've had in sort of quitting jobs and going traveling and decluttering and all of that, it's very similar to the episode that we've got coming out soon with Sarah Knight, isn't it? I mean, what's kind of like her main... It's like, what's the main book that would be most relevant to this that she did?
The Life-Changing Magic of Not Giving a Fuck, probably.
Yeah.
That's all about basically being who you want to be and like just simplifying everything down, being happier and understanding what you care about and what you don't care about, which I think is really interesting when you have been almost, what's the word, conditioned to care about having Charlotte Tilbury makeup, which costs, you know, 30 plus for anything, rather than your over-the-counter cheap, but it's probably the same bloody shit in the tube anyway, you know? So I think like when you're a kid at school and you're made to feel a certain way if you have certain things, you know, like keeping up with the Joneses starts at school, doesn't it? Like having the cool trainers, having the cool coat, having the cool bag, having the right pencil case, or it certainly did for me. And breaking out of that, I think, as an adult, and actually I value my time and what I care about and what I'm learning about more than what's in my handbag. What, you know, Absolutely. The physical things in my handbag, which has been quite an interesting adjustment coming back to the UK, and almost like coming back into society. It sounds very strong, that, but coming back into the UK, stepping back into our friendship groups and stuff, it's almost been like, if you want to play the game, you've got to earn the cash, you've got to be on social media, otherwise you're so out of the loop. So it's been quite interesting to find that balance between the two.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think keeping up the Joneses was a very, like you said, it's like a societal, it's so natural, and it starts really early. But this whole thing of like consumerism, I just think, I actually feel like, me personally and you, like in our minds, it's like a mental shift have broken out of that world. And not only that, sounds like I'm preaching now, but and I think travel does definitely help with that. But also, you can see where people are caught up in that world.
Yeah.
And you just you can't help but think that there'll be a moment in time when they'll probably stand back and evaluate those types of things and go, well, actually, am I working in the right direction here? I'm reading Derren Brown's book at the moment, Happy. It's a really, really good book. And he talks about the concept of climbing the ladder only to realize that it was put against the wrong wall. And I just think that's such a powerful concept, isn't it? Of like, are you striving for the things that are you going in the right direction? And I think us kind of breaking out of convention and not adhering to Black Friday consumerism and almost doing everything we can to break out of that. And like I said, it goes deeper than that. It's not just about buying things. It's about you kind of the way you live your lifestyle. I think, it's a quite a powerful shift in mindset, really.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. It's almost like a two-step approach, which is start behaving in that way. And then the second thing is to start not caring. Because I think that actually, I can not buy that, and I can make sure that I re-wear those clothes or really love the things that I have rather than going out and buying new. But then when you're amongst those people that you compare yourself to, or you, as you say, quite naturally feel like you need to keep up with, it's not allowing the influence of those people to impact how you feel about the way you're living your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's what it is, isn't it? You get caught up in the social circles.
Yeah, exactly.
So very much on how the people around you behave, do you kind of get caught up in that? And it is not easy to break out of that.
Yeah.
If people around you are getting more and more things, you feel like you're falling behind, don't you? You can easily feel like you're falling behind.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I think it's just about everything. Like I think there's a difference between not being able to afford something and then putting your money into something sensible and then just choosing not to buy the thing because you don't want it. Like I think that there's so many different levels to what we're talking about. But
that's a good point, actually, because we're all talking about here having the luxury of being able to even have this decision. And that's why I think the travel thing kind of comes in, because you see people that don't have the luxury to even make this decision. So you see it as a luxury. Whereas I think when it keeps kind of referring to being caught up in this, but if you are caught up in consumerism, then I think you feel like it's a must-have rather than a luxury.
Yeah, but I mean, it's never been easier to get a credit card, to go overdrawn. So even if you don't have liquid cash, you can still go out and get the things, True. Like we were looking last night at this awesome subscription for Nespresso. You get the machine for £1, you pay £30 a month, and you're locked in for 12 months. I mean, like, you can get a subscription for anything.
For a coffee machine.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, it looked really cool, but I'm certainly not going to pay that because, as I say, it would be wonderful, but I just think,
do you really need it?
Do I really need it? No.
I mean, back to basics of anyone kind of trying to think how they, coming back to tips, the do you really need it thing is something to always ask yourself, and certainly that I always do.
And don't get caught up in the marketing of things.
Yeah, that's true. It's funny. I've seen more and more lately. I've been talking about in England, like the shift that's happening at the moment. Obviously, gin has been huge for the last 2 years.
Yeah, maybe more.
Gin's been very big. And but it's kind of had a resurgence, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And there's the gin aisle has gone absolutely massive. And now you're kind of seeing a shift
craft into gin.
But now you're going into rums. And it's so when you actually think about why that's happened, because I find myself now not drinking gin but drinking rum. And I think it's such a small thing, but how does that happen?
In a year's time, all those gin bars will be
rum bars. Yeah. But is that is that our decision? Like, is that my decision that all of a sudden I like rum? Or is it the fact that 3 of my friends just started having rum because the marketing messages on TV and on billboards and on social and on everything all of a sudden became rum based, not gin? And these kind of things are just cyclical. I mean, it's always going to happen. It's not like that's a bad thing. But I definitely think it's just an interesting sort of topic for discussion.
We're just caught up in these different motions. Well, like everything going on with the new digital revolution with AI, and you know the natural inclination that we have to learn more and develop as a race. I was listening to something on the Radio 4 yesterday, and this guy was saying we're a disease on the earth. You know, we've tripled in population in like a decade, and we are this disease, and we're going in the wrong direction, and we're gonna like, it was the most interesting but weird, scary, because we're so out of control in the way that we are behaving. And they were saying about how like climate change isn't led by politicians and people, it's led by lifestyle and culture. So, you know, we are the ones that are making the problem. We are the problem. We are the disease. And I just think the whole thing is so interesting. You know, we've never been living longer. Everybody has a chance to beat the disease that they have. Well, actually, what if, you know, Mother Nature is trying to wipe us out? Yeah, it's just such an interesting conversation that they were having.
You're right there.
But I just think like the way that we are consuming, and I don't think you've seen it yet, but there's a new Iceland advert which is so brilliant. If you've not watched it, it's been banned, so go to YouTube and watch it. Yeah, so it's this cartoon of this little girl in her bedroom, and and it's a poem about an orangutan in her bedroom knocking things down and stuff. And then halfway through the advert she says, "Orangutan, why are you in my bedroom?" And then it flips to the rainforest, and it's the orangutan saying, "There's a human in my forest." Oh my, it's like so sad. It makes me feel really emotional. But it obviously has been banned because it's lobbying. And if you're going to lobby in that direction, then you can lobby for bad. So it's unfortunately, it had to be pulled down. But like, it's so powerful, because as this, you know, the way that we're living, it's just destroying the world basically, and like who we are as people. It's almost like there is this different hierarchy that we're on now. Rather than being a good human being, it's whether you've got the flash car, whether you've got this, whether you've got that, and like social media and all of these different things are driving that behavior, which is so unfortunate. That, you know, what's the thing that's going to re-penetrate into us, that you don't need to have these things to be a good person?
Yeah, it's so true. Like, I've got to say it, but I hate these hauls. It's like a haul of a shop.
Oh, what, on Facebook? YouTube?
I don't know, a Topshop haul or a Primark haul. And it's like, look, I've gone and bought the entire shop, and now look at me wearing all this stuff. And what message does it send, basically? But like, you're dead right about, like, it's us, it's every person, isn't it? Almost acting with their feet that kind of drives these things,
these behavioural changes.
However, you can definitely easily think that what difference are you going to make, you know, just as one person, because it's kind of hard to make that impact, isn't it, if it's just yourself?
But as you said, if 1 million people think, I won't use that plastic straw today, or actually I'll keep that $5.
Yeah, I really like the quote, which is about straws. It's just like this nice little kind of meme thing, and it's like one more plastic straw wouldn't hurt, said 1 billion people. Yeah. Because everyone's kind of saying it.
But there's this, yesterday, a huge sperm whale has been found dead, and it's got 6 kilograms worth of plastic in its stomach.
Wow.
It had like 6,000 straws, 100 cups, and a pair of flip-flops. You know, some of the things that were found. It's just mental, isn't it? But anyway, we're not really here to talk about the world and crisis, but I think it all blends into...
It all comes back to it, exactly, because it all comes back to Black Friday, doesn't it? You know, you need the latest thing, you need the latest gadget, you got to have it. But I really do, on a personal level, feel almost proud to break free of that. and I can feel, it's such a weird feeling because you can feel smug that you haven't got stuff. Imagine feeling smug that you have not got things. Like what a freeing thought that is. You know, if I see that someone gets a brand new car, or someone gets a brand new house, or someone gets something that you know, previously I would have loved to have, I actually view that I'm that I'm like not tied up into that.
Yeah.
And so I'm quite sort of happy and pleased that I've not joined that club.
Yeah. I mean, I think to a degree, you know, we're sat here on our privilege with, you know, we still have
having the choice,
lovely things, but it's just, choosing not to play into, like, for example, our kettle, we've had that since we've moved out. So it's 6 years old. It's looking a bit worn. I was thinking the other day, I could do with a new kettle. And I thought, it still bloody works. Just because it doesn't look nice, get a grip, you know. But before, I definitely think I would have been like, I'm going to get a new kettle. I'll throw that one away. But why be so disposable? I've just spent hours washing the paintbrushes of this very midnight blue paint that I've just painted the bedroom because I really want to reuse them again. But before, I literally wouldn't have taken the time to care for these things.
Good on you, Liz. So, conscious consumerism is the message for this podcast episode. And there's no Black Friday sale, and we just wanted to share just how good it feels to have empty kitchen cupboards. Just before you head off, we want your feedback. You can obviously leave us a review on iTunes if you like, or you can find us. We're very active on LinkedIn. Just search Ross Mangini or Lucy Mangini. On our website, lifedesigndiaries.com. We're also active on Twitter @LifeDesignPod, or find us on Instagram @LifeDesignDiaries.